has just gotten back from the big announcement over at Apple for the release of the Vision Pro.
Vision Pro is pretty awesome.
Is it?
Yeah.
Really? Okay, so fill us all in on what it is and why you think it's so different and amazing, and what then we'll talk about what you think that means for real estate.
So what do you know of it so far, you personally?
Well, I watched a little bit of the announcement because I knew you were there and I knew that we would end up talking about this. So what I know of it is that they're goggles, obviously, something like this, and it makes you look kind of like you're a little astronaut. And originally when they first announced it, it's kind of like a merge of VR and AR goggles, but you can still see your normal environment. You know what I mean? So you can see periphery.
I jumped to gaming. Gaming just from the visual, the goggles, visual. I thought, oh, gamer.
And neither of you are gamers.
No. And so why would we use it?
We lost interest.
Yeah.
So what do you guys do?
We're real estate professionals,
absolutely,
entrepreneurs.
Okay. And then what do you do in marketing real estate for clients and houses and everything?
Yeah, so we sell listings. So we've got, photos that we do, a Matterport tour, printed some drone photos. Everything. Yeah.
So what if I told you that everything that you're doing in the two-dimensional aspect will now, going forward, be three-dimensional?
That would be unusual and impressive.
And a game changer.
What if I told you that right now you have this two-dimensional world of just showing pictures, and sure, the Matterport kind of allows you to see inside and has this kind of two-dimensional, three-dimensional facet.
They call it a 3D tour, but you're not immersed in it.
Right.
Yeah.
So what about if you can picture walking into that house, hearing the sounds of that house, hearing the neighborhood, hearing the neighbors' kids yelling in the backyard. All of it. If you walk into the backyard and you think this, oh my gosh, by the picture, this thing is absolutely incredible. This is just gorgeous by the picture, right? But then, I went and I looked at this one house and it had a freeway running in the back of the house, and the freeway was louder than my thoughts.
So you're saying that we could actually walk in, visually look, 360 all the way around, feel
and
it,
walk
experience, walk it like I'm really here.
Absolutely. So that's just one aspect. Okay. So when you're talking about augmented reality, yes, it's doing that. It's doing the things that you said. Sure. That's one aspect of it. Just like your phone makes a phone call, it also makes a video. It also makes pictures. It also has a social media aspect. It also plays a library of music. Okay. So you have multiple avenues of use on that phone, but now you have that, but a three-dimensional aspect, and you have visual computing, and that's really what it is. It's a visual computer that you're not putting these goggles on and then going into the space. You're putting these goggles on and going through a space.
That's mind-boggling. That really is, when you kind of wrap your head around it and think, wow, you're stepping into the space, a spatial computer, you kind of had mentioned. That's incredible. I mean, I can't even imagine how you feel stepping into that world. Is the reality of really what is live, really.
Yeah.
Do you think this is going to mean, so you have, in this way, you can do visual computing. So you can open Safari, web pages and stuff like that. Are we going to have an immersive 3D website?
I think what you're going to have is anything that you can imagine, it's going to be created. And if enough people want to buy that product in order to, have that experience, the answer is yes. I mean,
wow. So just like you have a website that's, for desktop versus mobile, you will now have one maybe for immersive experience.
You're going to have, like I said, you're going to have everything that you can think of. That's what this is. This is, this is a new frontier that will allow people like yourself as realtors to think of new ways to do what you're doing. And
new ways to market
so
properties,
we could bring
market
clients
neighborhoods.
bring them in, have them take these wonderful tours and actually feel and experience properties in a different way other than they've ever really had an opportunity to, right? And make the experience for them so much more meaningful. And
I think you really have to, okay, let's just say this. Let's say you never buy these goggles. Like, let's just put that off the table. You're not going to buy these goggles. Okay. Now understand what the goggles do. And when I say goggles, I'm just referring to the vision, Apple Vision,
Pro.
right? Understand what it's doing. And also understand, is that something that could make what you're doing better? Okay. So, and I'm not trying to pitch, again, I'm not trying to pitch you on, hey, go out and buy these things. I'm trying to pitch you on, is it something that could make what you're doing better? And just think, like, this first launch of it is really for creative developers to get on board and make apps and make what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
elevate that platform.
why I'm saying it the way that I'm saying it right now to you, and I'm not really doing the best job, but if you look at it, it should inspire you into thinking not outside the box, not inside the box, but through the box. And I'm telling you right now, that's what the experience is going to be. Is the first, I think, thought when you're like VR goggles, people think that.
Yeah.
Right, we go back to what we know.
But you go into the space, and now you're in this new. No, you're going through a space. You're going. This isn't. You're at your house. I mean, this is where everybody, I think, gets hung up because they're so used to. Okay, you got to go back to the original phone. You had a cable, and you were stuck to your phone. You're stuck to your home. That's not what this is. The minute they cut the cable, the minute they gave you the cell phone, now you're able to take that cell phone and be anywhere. Okay, that's what that's what you have the ability to do with spatial computing. Is you're cutting your phone in essence, and you're putting your phone here, and you're going through the experience, and you're going through your life with this. Okay. And if you're a gamer, going back to the gamer, you could be, for example, they look like snowboard goggles to me.
They do, yeah.
You could be snowboarding and you could be playing this game where, and other people could be playing with you. And remember how like, what is it? Waze has this, you get a point or this, that.
Oh yeah. Or even Pokemon Go, where you were trying to go to these locations in order to collect things.
So you could be snowboarding down this thing, and then, you hit this jump and you go 2 feet high and you get, 20 points. And then you hit this jump that another guy does it and he gets 5 feet high and he gets 100 points.
Yeah.
So this is what it can turn into. So it's not making, when people are like, oh my gosh, I fast forward all this and I see people just sitting at home and getting fat and like eating. No, I'm being serious, and like not working out. No, now you're like, you're up against, Lance Armstrong, and you're but you're going on a bike ride,
right?
And Lance Armstrong's going on the bike ride at the same time, and they have a lot of this stuff already, right? But again, a lot of it is you're at home, you're on this cycle, and you're, and again, I'm not into the whole, like, I don't have a Peloton, so I'm really speaking outside my box and my comfort zone. But my comfort zone is understanding that this is something new that people, even, like myself and yourself, have to look at it. How is it going to be a better tool for you? Okay.
Right. How we can utilize it and actually make it something that really helps us and elevates us and even our real estate.
I can envision too, like when you go to a blank canvas of a house, I can envision you having the goggles that can remodel the house for you.
Oh,
you know what I mean? So you can
awesome.
walk into this kitchen and say, oh no, this kitchen's awful. I can't imagine it like that. Press a button and it can reorganize the kitchen in a way that we can't, nowadays. You'd have to sit there with a pencil and draw it all out, or ask an architect.
Right.
You could have an app that just decides how you could, here's 5 different versions of your kitchen.
I'm going to put this in a perspective for you that's really easy for you guys to digest. Okay. Right now, you get a call from your client, okay? And your client is, you have a client right now in Simi Valley, okay?
Yeah.
And your client in Simi Valley says, hey, I want to go look at this house. You call the listing agent, and the listing agent's like, no, it's not available, this, that, and the other. Okay. So you are now shackled to somebody else's timeline.
Yeah.
The owner of the house maybe doesn't want to show on that day and the whole thing. Okay. What if you had 2 pairs of these or a pair of these and you sent them to your client, because right now they're your client in Simi Valley, and you sent it to them and say, okay, we're going to go look at all these houses. And you're like, wait a second, but I thought they weren't available. Well, what I didn't tell you is earlier that week, you went to your broker's tour. You went on your broker's tour. You filmed all these houses, and you walked through all this stuff with the audio, with everything. And you say, "Hey, I'll meet you there. Let's go and let's go watch it together." So you go in there, and now all of a sudden, your client is standing right next to you in the house, and you walk through the house with them.
That's amazing.
That's
with
so
with
cool
the audio.
features.
So again,
like that.
yeah, this is a thing for you to understand what the tool is. And just as you take pictures, just as you take notes, just as you make videos, like we're making a live video now, as soon as I found out what live was, okay, as soon as I got it, like truly got it, and you got it, we had these conversations, even with me in the car, and I would say, hey, you should do this, 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 this. And you go back, well, I don't want to do that because I want to do it live. And I'll be like, well, why do you want to do it live? Because of X, Y, Z. You started understanding that if I do this live, I'm not going to have to edit it.
Right.
I'm not going to have to do this.
It's just easier and getting those steps out.
So this is one of those things. Here's a new format. Here's a new medium, and go out, understand how to paint with it, how to sculpt with it, how to make it, useful for you. But, and I say this with a but, and I mean what I mean it when I say it with a but. Never ever become reliant on your tool. It's a tool of the trade, okay? So sharpen the tool, keep that tool sharp, but at the same time, you can take all the tools away from me. And I've created this in my own world where I'll show up with, something happens. Yeah, I forgot my headphones. I need my headphones in order to hear audio for what I do. Or do I? Back in the day when we were making film, there's no monitor for the cameraman to see what he's filming. He just knew. And why did he know? Because he knew his trade so well, he didn't need that tool. But having that tool is nice to have that tool.
Of course.
So the point is that I'm saying is get good at understanding what this new medium is, embrace it, think beyond what the tools you have now, and sharpen your skills, so much so that tool will help you and expand the way you're doing things. But at the same time, you don't need that tool, because all the experience that you have, and it boils down to this, is you could take away every single microphone, every single tool that I have. My experience, and this is coming from, Bill Schnee, right? Bill told me the first day I hadn't even worked for him. He, recorded Barbra Streisand, Chicago, just amazing artists of that time, Huey Lewis and stuff that I loved, and I enjoyed. But he told me, I could take a monkey and give him a microphone and put him in the room. And it's all about the microphone and the room. So take all the tools away except that room and the microphone. So your experience is the key, getting the, having the experience. And I'm excited for you guys to take the whole Vision Pro and go with it. But
see what we can do and take it into our business and really kind of utilize it for what we need. Take it forward.
Now I went on a real tangent. Sorry, guys. But any questions?
We're reeling you back in.
Yeah, reeling back in. Any questions that you have for that?
So, okay, we've talked about how you can listen to a space, but there is a noise canceling headphones part of it too, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you could actually fully immerse yourself in the audio of the home, taking away the audio of your current home, right? Yeah.
Anything you can think of can be done, coming down the road. I will say that, Apple does have products, the new Air Max Pro that we used, and it's pretty wild. I mean, as far as noise canceling, like you're saying.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It also has an amazing feature that where I'm talking to you right now, and I could be running. Like they show that in their video in the whole Apple thing. But the point is, you could be completely. You can hear all the world around you. Or you could decide, I don't want to hear the world around me, and you could just press that button.
Interesting.
So that's something.
Oh, and another thing you said, they are going to have video voicemails.
It's funny because
You've been sending voice text. Well, you've been sending videos via text message, but they're just like a text. You're just like, hey, so-and-so, what
Just
are we doing on
embedded in
Thursday?
Yeah. So for me, I get to a point where in a lot of this stuff where we run the circle, or we run the track so many times that it becomes redundant. Okay. And that's why I'm saying understand this stuff now. And as going back to an analogy, Pat Pirelli, don't get there, be there. Okay. So I was running this track all the time, text messaging my friends.
Yeah.
And I got to the point where I'm just like, no, I want them to know how I'm feeling, what's going on in the whole deal. And I'm
To read your face, read your
Right.
emotion. Yeah.
and
A
it's just
deeper sense of.
and it's a better connectivity, right? So I was doing that. And then the funny thing is, of course, Apple announced, they're like, yeah, our new thing as an earning feature is this.
Oh, funny.
But you've been doing it too. You evolved to, making these videos. What is it called? On the, like when you send it to your friend and then they send their response. What is that called? That whole thing that
Marco Polo.
Yeah. You do the whole round robin thing. So
And it's basically Marco Polo, but as a FaceTime.
yeah. One of the cool features that I do like about, the new phone that's coming down the road and, with the Vision Pro and everything like that is that Karen can leave me a message and just say, hey, Johnny, how are you doing? I really need to talk to you as soon as possible. And I'm like literally seeing the text as I'm, recording some audio. And I go, wait, I need to take this. And I can go take it and pick it up.
Interesting.
Right away. I like that.
And I know you've
But you know what that is? That's back in the day
Correct.
when the answering machine was on,
Correct.
and it was like, "Hey, this is so and so calling about your dentist
That's
appointment."
right.
You're like, "Oh shoot, I gotta take that because I gotta cancel that appointment."
Or this is so and so. Like, would you like to? I got several phone calls. Even this morning. Would you like to sell your house at such? I'm like, I don't even want to respond because then they know they're like, oh, I got that.
He called.
Yeah.
He
Sorry,
answered.
He answered and now we got him. But that's what. Yeah, you could ignore those now because you're just like, okay, delete,
Right.
delete.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So-
really
It's
cool.
easy. I like
Okay, well, you guys are going to go enjoy and look at some wonderful houses,
We are.
and I'm
Right.
excited for you.
Yes.
What I've noticed, and you tell me, okay, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. It's just things that I've been doing. I've noticed some amazing real estate that's coming up and coming down the pipe. I feel like some of them are still a little bit high because there's this lag effect. Okay, and I'm not trying to fill words in your mouth, but I will say I'm super excited that there are things that I haven't been able to get, like meaning like real estate wise, that are coming up, and even businesses where I'm just like, holy cow, like this is a straight out business that already has a brand, that already has this, and you can figure out, why they're selling it, obviously, but you can step into that or utilize it in a different way and make it your own. So what are you guys seeing? What's happening in the real estate market?
Well, I mean, it's springtime, so we are seeing kind of an influx of new homes. It's been slow going. We wish we were seeing more, but
Right, but the inventory is growing right now. We're seeing that. We are seeing that. But you're right. Excuse me. Prices still are kind of lagging because some of these sellers think we're still in that crazy market where you name your price. But that's not the case. Not the case at all. So we're seeing some reductions as well on top of it, even though properties that are coming on, can try a little bit high. If they sit around for any length of time, we're seeing good reductions.
Yeah.
So they're catching on.
I'm going to throw you a curveball here.
Ooh,
Okay.
no
I'm going to give you a
curveballs.
few seconds to think about it. My friend just lost their job and
no.
we're seeing a lot of that,
Yeah.
and a lot of reduction. How is that going to affect the real estate market? And is it one of these things where you're like, okay, maybe I should just wait because a lot of people are losing their jobs. I think that's an open-ended statement and question that I'm asking you. But where do you see that as affecting the market? And, what do you tell people that are like in that whole, like, let's wait and see? Or what do you see the effects of that.
Well, let me take that last half
It's a
myself.
lot of it.
It was a lot, but the wait and see, I got to tell you, that's nothing new. That has been a strategy for people for so long. Everybody wants to wait and see because they somehow think that something's going to just crash and reset itself, and that they're going to step into a real estate market that is nothing like what it currently is. That's simply not true. Look, over time, prices go up. So I have to counsel people, get in as soon as you can.
If
the
it
sooner,
makes sense
the
for you,
better.
do it.
If it makes sense, jump in. And again, we are seeing some struggles with people that are either on strike or they have had, reduction in hours or job loss. All of those things affect us. But if it's going good, we can prove some income and things are good, make your move. There's opportunity out there now. Don't play the wait and see, because I'm telling you, I cannot tell you how many clients I've known over the years who went, wow, should have bought that. Yes, you should have listened to your realtor who was counseling you, but you somehow thought everything was going to come down and there'd be no other competition. And it's a fantasy world. It's a fantasy world.
I know. We just showed clients property yesterday, and they said, I wish we would have bought in 2020. Why didn't we buy in 2020? We had the perfect job, the perfect timing, everything was right to buy then, and we waited. For what?
For what?
Yeah.
That's always the mystery. They don't really know what they're waiting for. They're waiting for something that I've never seen happen in 25 years.
They basically just end up kicking themselves, and then they go and try to find a property.
So I smile because, you're not trying to sell people on that fact. And I'm sitting here with two people where you just purchased an investment property in 2023. Okay. And then
2022 and 2023. Yeah. Exactly.
And it's rented. Okay. But that's what blows me away. So this isn't something like you're like, okay, well, telling people, and then all of a sudden you're not doing it. And you're doing the same thing where it's like you purchased a place in 2022 and we're in it right now. And at the same time, still looking for other investments.
Other opportunities. Exactly.
Yeah.
Make these properties work. We understand real estate. We understand investment. We understand properties that, generate income.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
If you lose your job,
do
not panic. Talk to your real estate advisors, okay? Because you have options. And we see people that there's just a slight change in their life status, whether it's a divorce, a birth, a death, something, and they panic and they get stuck and they don't know what to do. We can help you strategize. We can help talk to you through what your options are. A lot of people, if they can't afford their home that they're in, they go rent something else that's cheaper and rent out their house. You could be making money on top of your mortgage that pays for your other rental. Nobody thinks that way.
No, they don't. They just stick their head in the sand.
Yeah.
Yes, and then they think, "Oh my gosh, my only option is to get rid of everything. I can't hold on." That's not true.
No,
it's not true.
So the wholesalers aren't going to like it when I say this, but I'm going to be honest with you. Okay. So when I get these calls, I got a call this morning. I got an email that I just didn't respond to. But it's straight up. This is going to happen more and more and more.
Sure.
So if a wholesaler calls you, I mean, I hate to be this guy, but like I know from as an investor and someone who, like, let's say I was going to sell my place, right? I don't look at it like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to hand it to a realtor because I feel that I can make more money from a wholesaler. That's just crazy. So if you do get that phone call,
that makes sense.
Call Natalie, call Karen, and I'm not just saying that because I know them, but I know what their experience and their capability of it is, and it always blows me away. It's like, oh, but I could sell it for $1 million right now. Well, you could, or you could sell it for $1.2 million and have a realtor that represents it, and yes, they get their commission, but you made more.
Right, you still made more on top of.
Yeah, you made that 10 to 20% even more. Based on the fact that they went out and they marketed it.
Yeah, the statistics show you don't save any money if you FSBO, you for sale by owner, or you sell to a wholesaler. You make less if you do that.
Yeah. So
we just had one of our own. When I say one of our own, I mean one of our own realtors tried to do that very thing with her property, and it just didn't work. So she did the right thing, like we need to do, and open it up to the world.
Right.
Put it on the MLS, and again. You're not a secret agent. You're a real estate agent. So,
Right,
you're not going to get your best value keeping something a secret.
Exactly. And if there's, issues where you can only show the house at certain times, or that is something that we can work around. We've had clients, elderly clients, we could only be there on certain days at certain times, but you want to know what? We sold that for a great price. We had a great transaction. Even though it seemed like it was going to be this big headache, it went well.
I like Karen's analogy. It's a secret agent. Hey, what are you doing? I'm selling. I'm selling. House. You're what? I'm selling.
Tell no one.
But I thought you want to sell it. Shh.
Right.
Let's do this under the table. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like, you wouldn't go to a garage sale and then say, do you have anything else available for sale? And then they just like open their coat up and they're like, well, I have these watches.
Gosh, that's so good. Oh man. Well, yeah.
If you want to sell it, you got to advertise it. You have to market it. So
yeah. Well,
anyway.
Super excited for you guys
Yes.
to check out what's coming down the pipe and also be part of what's coming down the pipe.
That's exciting.
And lead the way in sending it down the pipe.
Well, thank you for being on, Johnny, and telling us about all of your experience up in Silicon Valley this past week and a half. Yeah. So I am Natalie Oman.
I'm Karen Heyrend.
We're with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services California Properties. My DRE is 02085495.
Mine is 01379897.
All right, Johnny, cancel us out of here.
Cancel. Is that X
X.
button?
Push
here we
the
go.
X.
I don't want to press the wrong thing. We lose everything.
Have a good day, guys.
That was funny.